Hi, I'm Neil Gibson and I've been using therapeutic photography for many years now. I've facilitated groups, I've run education courses, and I've even written a book on the topic as well. In this short video, I want to think about how to help encourage exploration through therapeutic photography. One of the challenges of therapeutic photography is to move away from an approach of just simply taking photographs to deepening the exploration of the world around about you and the meaning attached to images. Now that sounds like quite a complicated thing to do, but there are things that we can do to help us deepen our exploration. I think one of the big challenges of using photographs in a therapeutic way is when you start to think about representing abstract and quite nebulous concepts such as emotions and relationships. It can be quite a difficult thing to get your head around. So what I like to do is to encourage exploration, and I think photographers probably do this, but as we're moving into the realm of therapeutic photography, it's a really good skill to just hone in and practice. So it might be that you're working with a group of people and you're thinking, how do I encourage this group of people to start exploring the world around about them and just engaging with photographs, taking photographs and understanding that there's no right way to take a photograph. It's really what a person photographs and then what they say about the photograph that's important. So it might be, and these are approaches that I've used in the past, that you set up some kind of scavenger hunt. So what I've done is I've given random items for people to go and try and find in the environment and come back and not tell people what they've been asked to photograph, but see if other people can guess what they've been asked to do. Another thing might be that you ask participants to pick a colour and then go out and try and find as many objects or items of that colour as they can in a certain time scale. So it's kind of like adding a bit of fun into the exploration, but people go out and notice the world around about them. And these are techniques you can use for yourself as well. But one I particularly like, and one that can take several days to complete, and is just another way of exploring the world around about you, is something that I've called the alphabet challenge. What it involves is going out into an environment and starting to look for letters of the alphabet. What I did is I went into the forest behind my house and I started to look for patterns in nature, but specifically I wanted to find the letters of the alphabet in the patterns in nature. So I noticed tree roots, I noticed leaves, fungus growing on trees, and tried to represent these through photography so that I captured the letters of the alphabet. And what I noticed that I was doing was it became quite a mindful process because I was slowing down, I was actively exploring the environment with my eyes and looking for images that I could capture to represent these letters. Not only that, I was noticing other things in the environment as well. So it might be that I would come back from a walk and that I hadn't found the letters I was looking for, but I'd certainly found other items or objects or interesting images that I'd captured as well. So it helped me begin to open up my sense of exploration of the world around about me. I noticed that I was very calm when I was doing this. It was actually something I began to really look forward to going out and exploring the forest to try and find these images of the letters. And to go back to some of the outcomes of what therapeutic photography is, this to me was a task that I'd set myself. And going out and capturing all 26 images, which represented all the letters of the alphabet, was a real sense of achievement. And okay, you know, these photographs might only be of interest to me, but I'd done it. I'd gone out, I'd given myself a challenge, and I'd achieved that challenge, and I'd produced some lovely images that I found quite pleasing. So that sense of self-efficacy was strong at the end of this. And okay, I wasn't questioning the photographs. It was much more of a way of being with my camera when out in the world exploring. But to me, it was a nice introduction, a very gentle introduction to learning that there's no right or wrong way to take a photograph. You know, I'd risen to the challenge. I'd taken these abstract images, and I was very happy with them. Where there's an added bonus, as I said, some of the challenges around therapeutic photography is that we then start to think about how we take photographs to represent emotions or relationships. And I think encouraging exploration of the environment can help in abstract representation. And it's something that I'll explore in a future video is what do I mean by abstract representation. But in a nutshell, sometimes we can be asked to photograph something and we want to think, okay, well, how do I represent that? How do I capture that? And it can be a very difficult and challenging subject to go and photograph, but you can do it in an abstract manner. So you might want to represent, let's take an emotion of fear. You don't want to go and put yourself into a dangerous situation where you experience fear. So you might want to think, well, how can I take a photograph to represent some of the fears I have in an abstract way? So this is a gentle introduction to widening out that scope for thinking more abstractly when we're capturing photographs. So this is just a gentle exercise to get you into the rhythm of thinking about your environment, noticing things in your environment. As I said, it definitely for me links to that aspect of mindfulness, but it's also fun and enjoyable. If you want to know more about therapeutic photography, visit my website. There's more information there. And I also offer courses, training on therapeutic photography techniques for people who are looking to develop skills for themselves or to facilitate groups. And I even offer courses for counsellors and therapists on how to incorporate photography into your practice.